Well, our next guest today is a very familiar face in the world of television and comedy, and in the last few years he has swapped the Great British Bake Off tent for the world of books. His children's book, Thank You Baked Potato, raised over £1 million during lockdown for NHS staff, and he's kept the joy coming since. His children's book, The Boy Who Slept Through Christmas, is now out in paperback. What a pleasure in glorious Technicolor and real life to say hello to Matt Lucas. Welcome, Matt. Nice to see you.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Matt.
Oh God, I can't believe I said it.
You said welcome, Matt.
I didn't mean to.
I don't mind.
Shall we keep going?
Let's keep going.
Okay, thank goodness. I thought you might have just left the studio and said,
No.
I'm not doing this. No.
It happens, but it didn't happen
Not today.
It's not happening now.
Not now, I should say.
You're stuck with me. You won't
Okay.
be able to get rid of me.
Well, we're delighted to have you here today. The Boy Who Slept Through Christmas isn't a book. It's a multimedia experience. There's so much going on here. Tell me about it, because I normally talk to people about their books. This is much more than that.
Yeah, so I was writing this novel, which came out in hardback last year, and now it's in paperback. And as I was writing it, I thought, I'd love this to be a stage musical one day. So this is a musical novel.
Yeah.
So it's a novel, but there are 20 QR codes inside, and when you get your phone or tablet on a QR code, it takes you to a song.
Yeah.
So I wrote and recorded 20 songs. So this is a musical novel. It's a stage musical in a novel, and it's about a boy called Leo who absolutely loves Christmas, but this is going to be a different Christmas because his mum's passed away, and so he's anxious about how to still enjoy Christmas. Because I was thinking, for a lot of people, Christmas, it can be a tough time. You may have lost a parent or a sibling or an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, a teacher, a friend, a pet, and we all have so much hope for Christmas, but for some people they're thinking, wow, how do I do that without this person there? So believe it or not, it is a comedy. It's about a boy who has promised his mum before she's passed away that he's going to have the best Christmas ever, and so he absolutely throws everything into it. He makes his own presents, he makes Christmas cakes, he makes Christmas crackers, he decorates the tree, he makes he just does everything. He just does absolutely everything. He writes a Christmas song, he makes a Christmas board game, everything for Christmas Day, and then he just has a bit of a meltdown on Christmas Eve and wishes Christmas away. And then
be careful what you wish for.
Exactly, careful what you wish for. That's what it says.
Yeah.
And he wakes up and it's Boxing Day, and he has to find a way to get Christmas back. So it's a little bit about grief, but it is a funny book. It's a funny book, and it's for kids and adults as well. And like I say, there are 20 songs inside this book, and actually I have a producer and a director now, and we're slowly beginning the process of developing it for the stage, which I'm really excited about. But in the meantime, there are mini stage versions happening all across the UK, because there's that company Stagecoach, right? And Stagecoach are these little sort of children's drama clubs, and we've sort of licensed a mini 45-minute version with 6 or 7 of the songs for the Stagecoach kids to perform this Christmas. So hopefully somewhere near you can actually go and see a mini version of The Boy Who Slept Through Christmas.
There's so many things I want to talk to you about as a result of your answer. Like, one of them is, as a book lover, and you're a book lover, and is the how democratic this book is, because if you go to the library you can rent it out, if you buy it you can rent it. In other words, every kid in the country can have this in their hand, and not just have a book and a story, also an essay, as you say, about grief, but with lots of comedy in it. But the lyrics lyrics are there at the back. The QR codes are there. So there's no point at which you can't have a group of friends gathering the book together and saying, let's put this on, even if it's just in the local hall or in your house. You
can put it on yourself, and also, people love to go to the theatre, but not everyone lives near the theatre, not everyone can afford to go to the theatre. You might be reading this book in the Outer Hebrides. London might be a bit of a trek to go and see a musical. Well, now you can have a musical in your own home with this book.
I also think what's beautiful about the story is that idea of grief and trying to fix it. So when you say it's for adults as well, it is, because I think it's for adults. In some ways, it helps as a manual of sorts to navigate grief for children. So Christmas can be a magnifying glass on the great greatest things in life and the saddest things in life, can't it? And you're just sitting there, you're missing a loved one or even a pet or a relationship, wherever it might be. So this was a really interesting way to approach it. And tell me why you decided to bring that element of the story into the book.
Because I think we know from early October onwards it becomes Christmas,
yes.
and especially from the beginning of November, once Halloween's done, it's inescapable. And I've lost a partner, I've lost a parent when I've been younger, and you can get anxious about how to navigate Christmas without somebody there. For a lot of people, it heightens their sense of loss, right? And so you're not really told how to deal with this. So I thought, well, that's something I've lived, and why don't I write a book about it? But like I say, it is a funny book as well. There's lots of escapades in it. There's lots of jokes. There's, because comedy is the way to reach people, for me anyway. And so it's a big, fun, warm hug of a book, I think. Early on in the book, Leo, our 10-year-old hero, is being chased by some bullies, right? He's being chased by some bullies, and he's running through the streets, and he goes and he hides in a church. And there's no one else in the church at the time, and the bullies arrive in the church about 30 seconds later, and they're looking for him. And I tell you where he's hiding. There's a nativity tableau near the altar, and he's actually hiding in the crib. He's wrapped himself up in the baby Jesus' swaddling to hide. And then the vicar comes in, and he sees all these bullies, and he assumes that they've come in to help him set up for the service. This is about a week before Christmas, and he talks about how wonderful it is to be in that church, and how he feels he's never alone when he's in there. He always feels like there's someone watching over him. Now, he could be talking about someone up there, or he could be talking about Leo hiding in the crib watching over him. Now, I'm Jewish, so it's kind of weird to be writing about this, but White Christmas was written by Irving Berlin. He's Jewish, so I thought, all right, I can write some Christmas songs. So this is a song that the vicar sings. He watches over me. Is he talking about someone up there, or is he talking about Leo? Does he know that our hero is hiding in the crib or not?
Were you ever bullied?
Well, when I was 6 years old, all my hair fell out.
Yeah.
And so, when you're a kid, or certainly when I was a kid, you just sort of want to fit in and not really get noticed. But, I was the little kid with no hair, and I think people probably figured out that I might be gay in my sort of mid-teens, so I think there was a little bit of that going on as well at secondary school. And it's a lot of people's reality that, as they're trying to find themselves, other people are spotting things that are different, and maybe they're unsure about themselves and they want to sort of deflect the attention away, so they put it onto someone else. So I had my moments, sure.
How did you deal with it? Because people listening in today, they're the parents of kids who are being bullied.
Yeah.
And adults can be bullied in a workplace or in a relationship, know. So bullying is a scourge, as you well know. Yeah. How did you process it, or confront it, or fix it? Well,
I think for me, right, because I threw myself into acting, because I thought, well, people are looking at me, right? They're staring at me anyway. I want to give them something to look at. So I took what could be seen as a negative, being a boy but having no hair, and thought, no, I'm going to perform, and I'm going to wear funny wigs, and I'm going to transform, and that gives me an escape from this life. But also I think it was Ben Miller, the comedian, and also writes brilliant children's books.
That's right.
Ben Miller said, I think doing comedy is a way of controlling people's laughter at you. I think it was Ben that said that, and I thought it was really smart. So for me, I sort of thought, okay, everyone's looking at me, I'll give them something to look at. No, I didn't become a stripper. I became a comedian.
Despite your parents' hopes.
Yes. So when I was 18, I was doing stand-up.
Yeah. And did it work?
Well, I either stormed or died, so I went one way or the other. So every gig I went to, I was either impossible to follow, or I absolutely ruined it for the next act because the moods because I stunk out the room so badly. I did a weird act. I played this character who ended up in Little Britain, actually, Sir Bernard Chumley.
Yeah.
I played this character. So I was 18 years old playing in this sort of 75-year-old theatrical raconteur. That's quite a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
But of course, the vogue in comedy then was to stand there as yourself, with a pint in one hand and a cigarette in the other, and say, have you ever noticed this? And talk about what we had in common. But I don't think I felt like I had a lot in common with people.
Yes.
So for me, it was about being different, actually, on
and
the
inhabiting
stage.
somebody else's role, as it were. You mentioned in the book The Boy Who Slept Through Christmas, that comes with all these beautiful songs, as it is a musical novel, that you sing the songs and that you sing.
I do, and actually, I should say, because I've released all the music now, so the music is now on Spotify and Apple Music, so you can just go on and stream all the songs.
Useful guide if you're staging it as well.
Definitely.
But looking at your back catalogue, some of it from Little Britain, Shooting Stars, Come Fly With Me, Doctor Who, The Great British Bake Off, Alice in Wonderland, Wonka, Bridesmaids, everything else, and then Les Mis.
Oh yes.
Now, you've said, yes, I think to Les Mis, but looking at all of it, what gives you the coziest or the most warm glow feeling now at the age of 50?
Look, I've been so lucky. Like I got to work with David Walliams, do a lot with David, and then we're still developing stuff together. I mean, to have that chemistry with someone. Got to work with Noel Fielding as well on Bake Off.
Sure.
With Katie Seacombe when I was in Les Mis, Harry Seacombe's daughter.
Yes.
We'll play husband and wife quite often.
Yes.
And with Ellis James on Fantasy Football League. I've been really lucky when I found myself in a great double act.
Yes.
So that's been
you love
been
a double
really fun.
act, do you?
I do, yeah. To be with other people. Look, Vic and Bob discovered me,
of course,
and to be an apprentice at the kind of those two geniuses.
Yeah.
So I've been really lucky being in Doctor Who, but I suppose if I pick one job, I'm going to say, and this is no disrespect to anyone else, one thing I never thought I'd be is in Les Miserables. I watched it as a kid, and actually my next novel that I'm writing is about two different schools doing productions of Les Mis. So I love that show.
Wonderful.
So that, to be on stage singing One Day More, to be part of that ensemble is really as extraordinary as you think it would be.
Thénardier, is it?
Thénardier,
Thénardier.
He's the innkeeper. He sings Master of the House.
It's a wonderful guy, pure comedy. He's dirty and dark and very funny and very bawdy. Why Les Mis? What was the magic for you since you were young?
It's this sweeping epic story. It has the best melodies. It has the most the wittiest, smartest lyrics. And it's just so moving, and it's one of those shows you can watch and then go back and watch again 5-6 years later, and just go back every few years and get your fix. It's something that gets in you. I think you love it as well.
I love
you?
it, and my pal of mine, Killian Donnelly, has played Jean Valjean.
Well, your daughter has played Thénardier.
Shit, Ella played Thénardier in school production. So it's and we still sing the songs when we want to. So so there's that small connection in that regard. Yeah. But Killian obviously a little bit.
Brilliant.
You've sang alongside him, or at least you've soldiered beside him in the pub, maybe the on occasion of it. But so you know who I'm talking about.
I do know
there.
Killian Donnelly very well. Yeah, he's a brilliant Valjean.
Okay, good stuff. Regarding, you mentioned David Walliams, you're putting something to. He posts a lot on Instagram as well.
Yes.
Pictures of you two together. I wasn't sure whether it was nostalgia or.
Well, we're working on some new ideas. We're developing new ideas. We're taking meetings. We've got a few things planned, and watch this space.
That's great. You sound excited about that, which is good.
Yeah, it's great. We worked together solidly for nearly 15 years, and we needed a bit of a break. We've had the break, and now we're raring to go.
Love that. It's really healthy to have that break, isn't it? And okay, last question. You turned 50 last year.
This year?
No, this just March.
Yeah, March.
It just gone by. Does that do something to you or not?
Yeah. I'm worried my hair's going to fall out.
Well, here's hoping. But you're okay with it. No big deal.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Just get on with it.
I don't mind. I sort of probably don't look too different because I had no hair already. I don't think I look that different to how I was. Maybe a bit slimmer, but no, I'm fine with it. I'm quite happy. Listen, the thing about me is, as long as Arsenal are doing well, I'm happy. And touch wood, they're doing quite well.
Matt Luke, it's been a pleasure to see you. Thanks for coming in today.
Likewise.
Congratulations on the paperback of The Boy Who Slept Through Christmas, a musical novel. I think it's going to be enormous this Christmas, and as you say, it'll get people singing, and more importantly, reading again if they haven't read for a little while. Thanks so much.
Please do, and do go onto Spotify and Apple Music and listen to The Boy Who Slept Through Christmas. The album is out now, as well as the book.
Virgin Radio.